Thank you, Alastair Corla, and thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the debate tonight. I want to update the House to the work that the European Union Affairs Committee is doing. I chair that committee, and we have a very busy workload, particularly given the fact that we have the current presidency at the moment. I want to talk firstly about the work that we're doing in relation to the debate on the future of Europe. I also want to speak about ways in which we can enhance national parliaments' role in relation to European Union policy. I believe that we do need to bring parliaments closer to decision making, and I think that will make a more democratic Europe as a result. Our committee has the remit to consider strategic matters relating to Ireland's membership of the European Union. So since February, we've been holding a debate on the future of Europe. The future of Europe means different things to different people. For some, it means seeking greater economic and political union, greater fiscal union. It means developing political union at a European level. But of course, for others, it's about reducing links in Europe. It's a return to a purely economic community. And that's the debate that's going on in several countries at the moment, including the UK. Here in Ireland, my committee felt that we need to take stock of where we're at and where people think that we should go. It's not the first time that we've undertaken a piece of work like this. During the Fiscal Compact Treaty debate last year, we held a debate within the committee on that, and during that debate we engaged with politicians, with civil society leaders, academics and diplomats from across Europe to get their views as to how the Fiscal Compact would impact on Ireland. And these committees were shown on UPC and allowed people to get engaged and people to watch the proceedings. At the end of the proceedings, we published a report, and that included copies of all the submissions that we'd received from the members of the public, as well as the attendees at the committee. And it gave a detailed analysis of the main arguments for the treaty, but also the main arguments against the treaty as well. And we published that a year ago in advance of the referendum at the end of May. And it showed us that there's an appetite out there from Irish people for analysis about Europe, for commentary on Ireland's role within Europe. We all know that Ireland's role is changing, particularly given the fluid nature of things at the moment in Europe. So we consider it important to carry out an examination with a focus on the future of Europe. So the committee is focusing on following some key areas in relation to the debate. We're looking at the issue of financial integration, the issue of economic and monetary union, the issues of democratic legitimacy and accountability. We're looking at political integration, and we're looking at something that's of very much importance for Ireland. Is we're looking at what happens in relation to the European Union, in relation to the UK's involvement with the European Union, and how their changing policies may affect our own membership here. So since we started these hearings in February, we've had a number of submissions from experts from across the country. We've had people like Nat O'Connor, the academics Seamus Coffey, Bridget Laffin. We've had Gavin Barrett, economists like Alan Ahern in. And we've also heard from politicians as well. We've had Emer Costello in, we've had Paul Murphy in, and also Gay Mitchell attended. Last week we had the opportunity to hear from the Governor of the Central Bank, Patrick Hannigan, on his views about economic and monetary union. And these debates are continuing on. Tomorrow we've got the Minister of Europe from the UK, Mr David Lidington, will address the committee, and we're looking forward to hearing his views about the emerging nature of UK's role within Europe. And the meetings, and I know there are members of the committee here in the House tonight on the independent benches and the Fianna Fáil benches, and here as well, and I know that they attend the meetings on a regular basis. But can I just say, Karen Corla, that these meetings are actually open to any member of the House. So if somebody feels that they want to come in and question the Governor of the Central Bank on the ECB or on the Central Bank of Ireland, they can come in and do that, and every member of this House will be afforded the opportunity to ask any witness any question they want. So I'm extending an invitation to our committee hearings to any member of this House with an interest in Ireland's involvement in Europe. We do hope to publish a response from all of these submissions, hopefully during the summer, and we'll then be working on a strategy as to how we can extend this debate to beyond Leinster House so that more of our citizens are involved. Our committee is also engaged in a series of multilateral meetings with other European parliaments to assess how we can strengthen national parliaments' role in the new economic governance.
I just want to make a point of order on what you said. it's welcome that one would be invited to the committee, and I would love to have attended it the last day. But the problem is, another pressing European issue was going on at the same time. So it's kind of, you have a debate on CAP in one room, and then you have the debate on the future of Europe in the other room, all going on at the same time.
Well, this is
both of them are all the one thing, you know?
Yeah, well, of course, but you'll know, Darry, from being a member of this House, that we're all very busy people. We'd love to divide ourselves into three and attend everything. We can't. But you do get, every week, you do get a schedule of our meetings. If you'd like to attend some, please let us know. But can I also say to you that if you think that there are some guests that should come in that haven't actually been invited, feel free to suggest them, and we'll make sure that they're invited in. So, but as I said, we do try to make sure that they're as convenient as possible, but they're not always. But going back to the issue that the Minister raised in relation to the European semester, I think it's no doubt it presents us with a unique challenge in relation to how national parliaments deal with the European semester, because it forces us to examine the role in the context of greater economic interdependence in the European Union. We all know that the Fiscal Stability Treaty was approved by a referendum here last year, and it came into force soon afterwards. That presents certain challenges to us, as well as that we need to work out exactly how national parliaments deal with this. Parliamentarians, not just in Ireland but from across Europe, aren't clear about what their ongoing role is in relation to the European semester. So a group of us had an initial meeting in Denmark on this in November. We wrote to President Van Rompuy afterwards, asking him for his views as to how national parliaments should be involved in the semester process. Van Rompuy replied to say that the onus was actually on national parliaments themselves to come up with the ideas. So we've had some further debate on these issues. We've had meetings in Dublin, and we've also had further meetings in Denmark. And we presented a paper at that, the Irish Parliament presented a paper at that meeting in Denmark, outlining what we thought the key issues were in relation to ensuring the involvement of national parliamentarians in the process. We do realise that it's going to be a very involved thing. Many people in this House are still not aware about the impact this European semester will have on our budget-making process. It's not just that we're in a bailout, it's even those countries that aren't in the bailout, they'll have their budgets will be subject to scrutiny at a European level. It's something that many of our parliamentarians aren't aware of. They know that we're changing our budget from December to October, but they're not aware about the oversight process that will now come into play with the six-pack and shortly the two-pack in place. It's a complete change to how budgets have been done in the past, and national parliamentarians need to be aware of this, and we do need to ensure that we retain democratic accountability so that national budgets continue to be set by national parliamentarians, and that we don't give away too much power to the European institutions. So our committee is going to continue to work on this issue over the coming weeks and months. Our committee is also looking at other issues as well. Senator Catherine Riley will be publishing a report on behalf of the committee on youth in employment over the next month, and that follows on from a number of meetings that we've held in relation to that topic. We're also holding a series of bilateral meetings with members of other European parliaments, and our aim there is to explain to them the particular circumstances of the Irish economic situation, including the bank guarantee, the bank bailout, and of course the current situation. We feel that it's an important exercise in sharing awareness and also education, and it allows us the opportunity to dispel many myths that exist out there amongst our European partners. So over the last number of months we've met parliamentarians from Germany, from Sweden, from France, from the UK, Netherlands and elsewhere, and we will continue to do so over the coming weeks and months. And finally, Chair, I want to brief the House on the forthcoming conference in June in Dublin Castle that will be attended by 300 parliamentarians from members of the European Union committees of all of our member states. The conference, which is known as COSAC, will be held over 2 days at the end of June, and it's the final conference of our presidency. And as chair of COSAC, I'm responsible for putting the agenda together for this conference, and at this stage we're just finalising the schedule of events. I'm glad to say that our president will be there, as will an Taoiseach and the Ceann Comhairle, so they will be in attendance at some stage over the conference. We'll have one session on the future of Europe, and this will be attended by former President of the European Commission, Mr. Jacques Delors, as well as Commissioner Viviane Reding. We'll be hosting a session on how Europe needs to take account of the needs and rights of younger citizens. We have speakers from the Roma community, the LGBT community and the disability community, and that will be attended as well by Minister Ruairi Quinn. We'll be hosting a session on development aid, where international philanthropist Mo Ibrahim from the Mo Ibrahim Foundation will speak, as well as Barry Andrews, formerly of this parish and now Chief Executive of Goal. And they'll be talking about the impact of development aid on the third world. And also we will have a session on enlargement. And this is going to be addressed by experts in the area, including our own Erwin Fure. Ireland has been a member of the European Union now for 40 years, and we've seen tremendous economic growth, we've seen social changes, and we've also seen peace as a result of being a member. So we want to see other countries enjoy these benefits too. And as a result, we've put enlargement at the heart of our presidency. We expect to hear about progress in relation to the Serbian application, particularly in the light of the agreement between Serbia and Kosovo that was brokered by the European Union. We're also looking forward to talking about progress in relation to Turkey. We expect to see a chapter in their accession process open before the end of our presidency. And of course, we want to see further progress in relation to other states, such as Macedonia. Now, the House will know that there are issues in relation to the naming of the country, but throughout the presidency, we'll be trying to explore whether there are ways to open accession negotiations as a means of building trust between the relevant states on this particular issue. So it's going to be a very busy end to the next to our presidency. Before we return to normal day-to-day work of the committee. But the committee is lucky to be staffed by some excellent and dedicated public servants, and I have to say that we're very grateful as well to Ministers Gilmore and Minister Creighton for their continued presence at our meetings. They make sure that they come in before all the General Affairs Council. They take on board the comments that are raised, the questions that are raised by members of the House, including myself, including Deputy Dooley, and we're grateful for their attendance at those events. And finally, I would like to say that we're very grateful, and I'm particularly grateful to the Ceann Comhairle and his office for affording me the opportunity to speak here on behalf of the committee tonight. Gur Maithreacht.